to show ESPN just put out an article, best 25. So players under 25, the best 25 players under the age of 25. So I assume this was GMs, I guess, that voted on this.
Okay.
It is drafting
other players.
So when asked, NFL and NFL draft analysts Matt Bowman, Matt Miller, and Jordan Reed to work together to compile a list. So it was these three NFL and NFL draft analysts that put together this list. To qualify, players needed to be 24 years old or younger on November 29th of 2022. So as of today, they had to be 24 years of young or younger.
Okay.
This will come out on the 30th. So, record this on the 29th for people who are listening and watching. Who tops the list? Yeah, let's go bottom up. So who tops the list was easy. Okay, we're not going to get into that. But anyway, so it's three guys, Matt Bowen, Matt Miller, and Jordan Reed. Okay, so let's start at 25. Okay, and we'll kind of speed this up because we're already at an hour, a little over an hour. So
number 25.
So coming in. So let's do honorable mentions. So let's just rapid fire. Jedrick Wills, get that shit out of here. I don't even want to hear it. Fuck Jedrick Wills, dude. Bum. He is. Tristan Wirfs should be a Cleveland Brown, and it hurts my soul. Try a little harder, Jedrick, please. Trevor Lawrence, I can see it. Who else we got on there? Javon Holland, Creed Humphrey, Tariq Woolen, T. Higgins. Baby. Yeah, T's my man. I can't believe Devin. How old is Devin White? Like older than 24 or something?
I feel like Devin White's been around for a minute.
He had a bad year, or he had a down year last year.
But I guess when they won the Super Bowl, he was a rookie, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Jeez. All right, so Derek Brown. Is there any other honorable mentions?
My boy, Talanoa Hufanga.
Yeah, he's a stud, and Vera Tucker.
Cade York got fucking snubbed from the list.
Who should have got recognition? Amon-Ra St. Brown. Is he not on this fucking list?
They probably need to see like another year of that kind of productivity.
Travis Etienne.
Yeah, he's been injured. He's been injured a lot.
Is 24.
Yeah, just like Travis Etienne. Like he's just been injured.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go back up then. Okay, so 25, we had Antoine Winfield Jr., stud.
Absolutely.
Absolute stud. I actually drafted him in sleeper. I wish I would not have cut him. Now he's on Lil Pepper's team.
Low, I think
he's been a little banged up this year. Maybe that's why.
Yeah,
maybe.
So Antoine Winfield, safety for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, coming in at 24. The most wrongly, I guess, underutilized players. Dude, Kyle Pitts is a savage. If they could just learn how to use him,
I know, but that's what everybody keeps saying though. Like.
He hasn't had a good quarterback.
Yeah, I know. I was just
hear that.
And a lot of fantasy owners have been disappointed with him this year, obviously. So
from a fantasy standpoint, he has been dog shit for sure.
Right.
But as far as like
that's all I'm really saying.
Yeah. But for his NFL players, this guy is a stud. I mean,
he gets double covered a lot.
And even then he's open. And like you see him, you'll watch him streaking down the field wide. I mean, he runs like a fucking wide receiver.
Do you think the MCL is going to limit his high end ability though? I mean, that's an injury that he might not come back for like 12 months from.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, but I think that when he comes back, I think that other kid, who the fuck is that kid they drafted?
Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, Desmond Ridder. I mean, I don't know if he's the answer or not, but I definitely don't think Marcus Mariota is throwing him the ball by the time he comes back. So
probably,
he's 22 years old. I mean, as good as he was last year, sure, like I said, he's definitely had a regression, but he also doesn't have a pass happy guy like Matt Ryan anymore.
And he had like one touchdown catch last year too. And I don't think he has any this year.
Yeah, I don't think he may have one.
He has two. It says
okay. All right, so 20. So moving on. So that was tight ends. Kyle Pitts, tight end for the Atlanta Falcons. At 23, we got Christian Darrisaw, OT offensive tackle for the Minnesota Vikings.
Sure.
I actually don't know too much about this guy, so
I recognize his name, so that's something.
Yeah, so good shit. I'm glad Minnesota. Minnesota's they're good this year. And that O-line has been playing pretty fucking well. So
as long as they play at noon.
Yeah, as long as you can get Big Dick Kirk Cousins in there, fucking. Do you like that? So Penei Sewell, savage, stud.
This is far too high for him at 22. I feel like he should be down the
a little more.
Maybe I haven't seen the list, so I don't know. But
I mean, yeah, some of
This
the
guy
names
could have
even left
been-
off this list. This list.
This
might
guy
be
could have
pretty
been
lost.
blocking for Joe Burrow, but they took Jamar Chase. What do you guys think? You think if they could do it over again, they'd probably do it the same way?
Yeah, Jamar Chase is a world beater.
Yeah, I'd say so too. I always think about that because that was always
Him
like
and T. Higgins, like
because that's what everybody on that draft was saying for Joe Burrow. It's like, God, they got to get him some protection because that was after he had tore his ACL, and then Penei Sewell was on the fucking board when the Bengals drafted, and they famously passed him up. So I don't know. It's weird to lump guys in together because of their draft, but those two to me will always be kind of intertwined for that reason, at least in my mind.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, what definitely would have helped them out, but Jamar Chase is special. So,
yeah,
and I'm sure I know he's on this list somewhere. So
absolutely.
so if we go on 22, so Penei Sewell from offensive tackle for the Detroit Lions, aka the Mad Dan Campbells. At 21, we've got Justin motherfucking Fields, QB for the Bears. A little banged up right now, but I mean, the dude has been fucking. I mean, as far as rushing the ball and just keeping you on your toes, the guy. I mean, he's ridiculous.
One of the most fun players to watch this season.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not winning, but he's fun.
He's also one of the most frustrating players that, in the sense that, like, he's good, but the team around him just is so fucking bad that, like, it's frustrating to watch him in that sense. It's nothing he's doing wrong and nothing that like about his style of play, but it's just like there's so many times where he passes the ball and should be extending the drive, but it hits the guy square in the helmet and goes through his hands or does something stupid, and it's just I want to see more of Justin Fields before I kind of make my consensus, but from what he's shown when he's like had the good looks and the good, play around him, he's looked like a really good quarterback, and it's crazy to think he was the fourth quarterback drafted in that draft class. So
he's a guy
behind Trevor, Zach Wilson, then he went then Trey Lance, then it went Justin Fields, then Mac Jones. So yeah, he's looking like maybe one of the better quarterback. I mean, he's definitely better than Zach Wilson, and I'd argue he's better than Trey Lance, but we haven't really seen much of Trey Lance. So
yeah, I think if he's another guy that I think you get him an O line, you might see something out of him. I mean, I like Mooney. I love Darnell Mooney. I like, Chase Claypool's not great, but he's a good secondary guy. Cole Kmet's nice. You got two good running backs. If they can just get some protection where he's not running for his life all the time.
For sure.
Right.
Maybe. Anyway, so 21, Justin Fields, quarterback for the Bears. Moving on there, 20, we got my man, Sauce Gardner.
Too low. Too fucking low.
Yeah, this guy is cornerback for the Jets. This guy, he's a savage. I mean, the guy is top.
He has the coolest
tier.
name too.
Cool name, and I say this every time we talk about him, and I never get a reply because I don't think anybody's had it. But like his goddamn sauce at Buffalo Wild Wings is so fucking good.
I actually tried it 2 weeks ago.
It's so good.
It's pretty damn good.
What is the base for? What's the base for the sauce?
What is like spicy? It's like a honey spice, kind of like I forget what it was.
Like Cardi B's Popeye
chili
sauce?
peppers.
Yeah, I'm not actually. I'll give you the exact because dude, it's so fire. Like I remember, I got it like right when it came out. Sauce Gardner sauce.
Dude, when you have a sauce, you've made it. Can we have a pop culture rehab sauce?
Bend over.
Yeah, what is it? Buffalo Gardner sauce.
Okay.
I tried.
I'll give you my pop culture rehab sauce. Was the joke, but okay. Yeah,
a
little slow to that one.
Sorry, and I'm over here looking at fucking. I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is. So it's the new sauce is a smoky, sweet, and spicy barbecue sauce, which intercepts your taste buds and takes it to the house on your favorite wings and sandwiches.
Dude, fuck my tongue up.
Dude, it really is good though. But yeah, so probably offensive player or defensive player, the rookie of the year. There's a few out there. Devin Lloyd started really hot. He's kind of fallen off. Quay Walker for the fucking Green Bay Packers is nuts.
Hell, we might see some of them further up.
Yeah, but Sauce Gardner, savage. So cornerback for the Jets. Very excited for the future with him. Jets are looking good.
Advertised.
Yeah, they get a quarterback. Jets are for real.
Yeah.
All right, so number 19, we've got CeeDee Lamb. We all know CeeDee Lamb for the Dallas Cowboys. he's fucking, he definitely took a step forward this year. This is like his first real year, I guess. This is his first real year as a number one. And, I guess there are weeks where he kind of disappears, but I think that when you give him the targets and you feed him the ball, I mean, he's pretty reliable. And I mean, and he's got all the talent. He's nasty. So
I think one thing you have to think about with CeeDee Lamb so far in his career too is that like Dak was injured for a lot of last year. That he's had like Ben DiNucci and Andy Dalton throwing him the ball. It's
Cooper Rush.
I think Cooper Rush. The list goes
The
on.
GOAT.
I do think CeeDee Lamb is better than his stats say though. He's a high end playmaker.
We haven't seen the best of CeeDee Lamb.
No, exactly. I think he's a couple years, maybe a season or two away from really emerging as a top tier talent. But I don't know, 19. I mean, I think 19 kind of seems a little high, but we'll see what the rest of this list is.
See, I was gonna say,
or low. I mean, sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
depending on how you look at
Sauce and Panay over CD. To be honest with you, just me personally.
I mean, there's definitely an argument. He would put Panay Sewell and Sauce Gardner over CD.
Just because Sauce is having such an immaculate year, yeah.
Like as far as
a game changer
on the field. I mean, and CD is talented. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he has done what he's been asked to do. I think those other two are kind of more cornerstone players for their franchise.
I mean, the stat I'm reading the stat on his thing. 44 of 64 of his catches were for first downs this year. That's pretty nasty stat. Yeah.
That's nuts.
All right, so it's 18. Jonathan Taylor, rushing champion last year, taking a little bit of a step back this year. He's had some health problems, but he's been picking it up as of late. He looked pretty good last night.
You can't keep up that level of product. Any season would be a step back from last year. Last year was a freak.
Yeah, they kind of ran him into the ground last year. I mean, he was like their entire fucking. I mean, Michael Pittman is a savage, but it starts and ends with Jonathan Taylor. So
as much as I hate the Colts, I do like hope to see that he stays like healthy, just because it's like he had such a good first two seasons, but I'm just wondering if all these carries are starting to take their toll on him and whether he might flame out, but we'll see.
Right.
Nobody faster than Najee Harris, fucking Trent Harris 2.0 or Trent Richardson 2.0. All right, so 17, we've got AJ Terrell, cornerback for the Atlanta Falcons. Pretty good, pretty locked down, pretty nasty. He is one of the few bright spots on that defense, one of the few bright spots in Atlanta, period. But he's a great cornerback. I mean, I didn't even know he was 24. I thought he was a little older than that, but
good on you, AJ.
5.4 yards per attempt. Yeah, that's pretty gross. I mean, he's all right. Falcons suck though, so we can keep going.
Fuck the Falcons.
Oh, Rashawn Gary. Yeah, he's been a fucking wrecking ball this year. I think he tore his ACL recently, didn't he?
Yeah.
Last season, this season for a torn. This season. Okay, yeah. So I remember he just got hurt. But Rashawn Gary having a big year for the Green Bay Packers. D-end. All right, so from there we got 15. I'm trying to speed this up a little bit because we're already at 1 hour 20. Trevon Diggs, who is literally the definition of hit or fucking miss. You're either going to get. He's either going to pick the ball off and lock you the fuck down, but or he's going to sell out for that pick, miss. And he's going to give up a fucking 80-yard bomb because
he gets beat on the outside every time because he tries to jump the pass.
Yeah, he is more concerned about picking the ball off than stop. I mean, he is going to sell out 100% for that. And if he
like they say though, like there was somebody who quantified it because I think it was last season, he gave up the most receiving yards by a cornerback, but he also had the most interceptions. And they tried to evaluate in a point way, was it more beneficial or not? And it was more beneficial because he had a crazy amount of picks, but now that you're seeing that number go down to what probably is more realistic, like consistency. I mean, I don't know. 15 seems high for me for Trevon Diggs.
Yeah, give me Sauce Gardner any day.
Yeah, exactly. I'd much rather have Sauce
locking down the whole side of the field.
And
exactly.
Give me AJ Terrell. Yeah, and on that note, give me AJ over him too.
Yeah.
All right, so at 14 we've got
Jalen
Waddle, who is a part, one of two of the dynamic duo of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. and that ridiculous Miami Dolphins offense. Yeah, both of them are just so quick. I mean, when those dudes are on the field at the same time, I mean, when they're both running crazy, I mean, you can't guard both of them. You just can't do it.
I mean, Cheetah's insane, but I think Waddle's had a better season than
maybe.
Cheetah.
Waddle's kind of disappeared a few weeks. So the thing about Tyreek is that week in, week out, like he's getting the targets. Like he might not, put up numbers every week, but there's some weeks where like Waddle kind of disappears like altogether. Like, I mean, but I agree.
One thing about Waddle is he's got wiggle. Like when he's like out in the open field, he's a hard motherfucker to bring down. And like to have that dynamic where Tyreek is the burner and this guy's like, you hit him in open field, he's going to get extra yards. Like their offense is just humming.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
They're around those guys.
Mike McDaniels has put together such a great fucking. Tua looks good,
pretty good.
I mean, it's what happens when you utilize somebody's talents and not try to like force them into your idea of an offense.
Yeah, what's happening with Justin Fields.
Yeah, you play to their strengths.
Yeah. Quit trying to make Justin Fields a fucking pocket passer. He's not a pocket passer. You have to let him go out there and do what he does. So anyway, Jalen Waddle at 13, DK Metcalf, savage.
How the fuck is he still under 25?
It's ridiculous. I mean, you feel like he's been in the league for 10 years, but he's 24 years old. I mean, and we all know what a freak he is. DK
he has
Metcalf,
the most inhuman physique I've ever seen in my life.
He's the same draft class as AJ Brown. I wonder if they're both under 25.
I wonder. I don't know. I'll never forget him running down Buda Baker in the open field.
Guy's a savage. And if he could just get I mean, he's got the best quarterback ever right now. I was going to say a real quarterback, but I forgot he had the boy Geno. So anyway, 12, DK Metcalf at 13, Seattle Seahawks wide receiver, 12, Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle for the Giants. I mean, their O-line's been playing very good. That's a big reason why their offense has been so successful. So, I'm glad he's getting the shine, 23 years old. Brian Burns, we know what a savage this guy is. I mean, Jesus Christ, they fucking turned down. I mean, if true and that package they turned down for the Rams, and they turned down like 2 or 3 first-round picks for the guy. So they must really, I mean, he's a game wrecker for sure if he could just stay healthy.
Yep.
All right, so here we go. Moving into the top 10.
Top titty.
We will go. There he is, Tua.
The kneeler himself.
Tua, 24 years old. Well,
I like Tua, but I put him for a little further down.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean,
I'm not going to put Tua above Waddle.
No, and I would never put a quarterback who throws left-handed on the list at all. So,
hey, well, I'd say Waddle,
Steve Young.
Yeah, well, Waddle wouldn't be doing any of this if this guy wasn't throwing the ball. So, I mean, I guess there is an argument that like he is what makes the offense go. I mean, we've seen a lot of receivers this year be wide the fuck open and the quarterback can't hit them.
And Teddy Bridgewater didn't look very good quarterback in that team in his absence.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where like it does make a difference. I mean, I agree that I don't know if I'm putting to a top 10, but I do think that like there is an argument that like Waddle wouldn't be on this list if somebody wasn't putting the ball in their hands. So
yeah, this is his third year, right? So the first 2 years were not very good, and this is really the first year I think that you can confidently say that he's taking
100%.
forward.
100%.
At the end of this year, this I feel like he might have justified his position here.
Right, because I mean, you're looking at DJ Moore is the perfect example. I mean, guy's been open all year long. It took Sam Darnold in week 12 to come out and finally hit him. So
they need
whatever.
A playoff run now.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, number 9, Jalen. See that this guy's top 10.
A little low, I would say.
Yeah, I would say he could be a little higher.
I think it's the same situation as Tua. He's had a couple of years.
Yeah,
been not quite as good. But then he comes out this year and he's.
But his step has been like fucking. I mean,
this is a giant leap.
No doubt.
Yeah, he jumped with 2 feet.
He hurt so good.
Like Jalen over Tua. I think that's the right.
Love fights, love bleeds.
Did you see at the end of the game they had the picture of Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts next to each other with the Love Hurts?
Yeah, I'm a Def Leppard daddy. But yeah, I did see that. Great photo. All right, number 8, Pat Surtain, love him. Another guy
Yeah.
drafted in fantasy that I dropped that your brother picked up front office. So that's 2 guys on this list.
Holy
Keep trying
shit.
to trade him to me.
Antoine Winfield and Pat Surtain drafted them both. Dropped them both, but they're neither one of them are. Antoine's Winfield's a little bit more of a. Pat Surtain is a great game cornerback, but he's not really a fantasy option.
Yeah.
The problem
he
with
doesn't get tackles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the problem with shutdown guys is when they lock down their side of the field, they're not getting stats.
Right. Like it's almost like when you're a corner, unless you're somebody like fucking. Well, I guess Derwin James is a safety, but Derwin James is anyway. Yeah, but corner, you're right. You're basically like when you see a 0, you're almost like, okay, I know this guy just locked his side of the field down. So
Yeah, you need like a 3-4 linebacker or a safety.
right. So Pat Surtain, gross, very good. Highlight on that poor Denver Broncos team.
Rashawn Slater is a fucking dog.
Yes, he is. That guy is a huge reason why Austin Eckler is obviously still the man and probably going to be good either way, but this guy is a huge reason why there's just holes. You look at a fucking Eckler get the ball in a handoff, or like you see him swing out, or like, anytime that he needs to find a hole, the fucking C's part, so it's
Right.
like,
Because of this guy.
because of Rashawn Slater. I mean, the guy's a savage.
He'll pull like Batonio and just lead block. It's great.
Right. All right, so we go from 7th to number 6, Quentin Williams.
Williams.
Achoo,
Dog.
fucking Achoo, bless you, thank you. So
Pleasure, thank
fucking Quentin Williams, yeah, great guy. Another, we brought Sauce Gardner. The New York Jets have been a joke for so long that it's almost relieving that they're putting it together. And Quentin Williams is another one of those parts in that defense that is just
CJ Mosley. They have so many great pieces on that defense.
CJ Mosley, who, yeah, I mean, the guy,
Yeah,
CJ
that defense
Mosley,
is built for success.
yeah, they're, like I said, get a quarterback, please. All right, so after this, we're moving
Mike
to
White.
the top. Mike White, yeah, we actually quit looking for one. You got one.
Is
So
Mike
number
White coming
5.
above Justin Herbert?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, we might need to take Herbie fully loaded out of here and put old Mike White in here. But for the sake of today, we'll keep Justin Herbie on here, and rightfully so. I mean, the guy is fucking.
He's fully loaded. Herbie fully loaded.
Herbie fully loaded. I mean, this guy's got arm. This guy's got it all. He is. Who else was in his draft class? I'm trying to think who else, because he is probably the best.
It
one
was
from that
Joe.
draft class,
Well,
right?
Joe Burrow and
Burrow,
Tua.
yeah, Joe Burrow and Tua, yeah. So great draft class altogether. I would assume we're going to see Joe Burrow up a little bit. So we'll see. I mean, yeah. So Justin Herbert at 5, great quarterback, great young quarterback.
I like that.
4.
Tristan Wirfs.
What's it worth?
So maybe
to
Joe
you?
Burrow's
him.
not going to be on this list because I feel like I know 3, 2, and 1. So no Joe Burrow. I think I'd take Joe Burrow. I don't know who do you guys take? Do you guys take Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert?
I would take Herbert just because of the injuries to Joe's legs, but that's
Right, but I
small-
mean, so
I mean,
if
there's
they're
not,
bo-
there's not much, in my opinion, that's different from them. I think Herbert's got maybe the more natural pocket passer
I'll
ability.
take Burrow. Burrow's just built for the fucking spotlight.
I mean, you really can't go wrong. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with these guys. And like, if you told me they were both, if you took both of them at their absolute peak health, I mean, I'm with Stuart. I think I'm probably going to take Joe Burrow just because maybe that's just biasy because I had, he's my fantasy quarterback and I've kind of like become a fan of his, and he's an Ohio State guy when it comes down to it. But
like, I don't give a fuck about LSU and I don't like the Bengals, but yeah, Joey B, dude, when the spotlight's on him, he'll shine. And
guy's
when
a
you need the big play, he'll do it. He'll pull it out
He's
of
a,
his
he's a gamer. I mean, I'm not trying to take that. Yeah,
I'm with you.
Justin Herbert like led the league in passing last year. or
yeah,
something
you
like
can't, you literally, it's you can't go wrong. It's a fucking coin flip. I mean,
I think
you could make the argument for Justin Herbert any day of the week.
I think it's definitely situational. I mean, if it's fourth quarter, I'm going to take Joe Burrow every time. But if I'm talking like season long, I feel like Herbert might be better for a full season. And Joe has those bright flashes that are just, I mean, they're.
I think Justin's more.
Say that to the
consistent,
Super. Yeah,
too.
we'll tell that to the Super Bowl appearance.
I mean, I think he's
Yeah.
more consistent.
I'm just kidding, bub. I'm just kidding.
So
I'm really just sad about Tristan because we
Tristan-
had Tristan.
Number 4, who should have been a Brown, and not the fucking honorable mention. Tristan Wirfs, who, thank God, is only out 3 to 4 weeks. We talked about this last night, I believe. We talked about this in the space last night a little bit. So Tristan Wirfs, his injury looked really bad. I believe it was it Grant Delpit that fell into him.
Yes, that's
So
correct.
yeah, Grant Delpit fell into him. Didn't look good. But Tristan Wirth, best case scenario, 3 to 4 weeks. So glad we'll probably see him again this year. So that's good news. Tristan Wirth, though, best young offensive tackle in the game, and it's not even close. So
6 sacks in 3 seasons.
All right,
I mean,
what's our
that's
top three,
ridiculous.
boys?
I can tell you, I already know the top 3. So top 3, I saw this earlier. So top 3, Jamar Chase, Cincinnati Bengals. So yeah, so well, let's not go all top 3. Yeah, let's just you're getting a little ahead of yourself. Three, Jamar Chase. We talked about him earlier. Savage. So Penei Sewell did not get drafted for this guy. Absolute game changer. I mean, I was actually just telling a buddy of mine the story of front office drafting him and everybody kind of making fun of him because the all the reports coming out was he can't catch, he can't hold onto the ball. There was all this shit talking going on.
Also,
about Jamar
he sat out a complete season for COVID too.
Right, sat out the season for COVID.
Forgot about.
So there's just a lot of no one knew what the fuck we were getting from Jamar Chase, and he comes in and
he was dropping on draft day, but.
Right, and he's been just an absolute sap. I mean, this year he's got the torn ACL, or not torn ACL, whatever. He's back. Whatever he had for the IR hip problem, now he's back this week. So not ACL, obviously, but I mean the guy is
I think people forget that Justin Jefferson was the number 2 in that LSU championship team behind Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase is a year younger. So that just shows you kind of what their mentality was, at least in college, and where they thought Jamar Chase was, and where Justin Jefferson.
And I was just going to say, in a year or two from now, well, I guess in a year, Justin Jefferson only got a year left on this list, but a year from now, if Jamar Chase wouldn't have gotten hurt this year and we had 2 full Jamar, I still think I'm still taking Justin Jefferson. I think he's the better receiver, but I would not be surprised to see Jamar Chase take a step and be number 2 next year if there was this list again. He's that good. But that brings us to number 2, Justin Jefferson. He probably is the best. I mean, he could be the best. He might be the best receiver in the game of football. Not just best young under 25 receiver. He might be the best receiver in football. It's arguable.
That one-handed catch he made this season was incredible. He pulled it out of the fucking sky and just
everything he does is nasty. I mean, the guy is unguardable. I mean, there's been some games this year. I think he has been kind of locked down a few times this year by my boy Derek Big Game Slay. Fucking shut him down. But he is, when it comes to coming in day one being just, I mean, ready to dominate. Justin Jefferson is about as fucking NFL ready as a receiver as I've seen in, I don't know, forever. So
he is literally that
Chase
guy.
Debate reminds me of the Burrow Herbert debate, really.
Right, situational.
Yeah,
I agree.
Who's number 1?
So that number 1, and the only reason our front office even allowed this list today, I sent it to him 5 minutes before we started this podcast, is because he wanted to hear me deep throat a Cowboy, and I'm going to do it. Micah Parsons is the best defensive player in football. I don't give a fuck. He's better than Aaron Donald right now. He is better than every single defender in the game of football. And I will fucking die on that hill. He's not better than Aaron Donald in his prime. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to get into that. But right now,
he's no Jeffrey Simmons.
There is no, I mean, Jeffrey. So it's him and then everyone else. You know what I'm saying? So it's Jeffrey Simmons is obviously on the perch, and then Micah is kind of looking up at it. But Micah Parsons there is not a single game. I mean, this guy is he's a game wrecker. I mean, I know we've said game changer a couple times here, but there is nobody that can wreck I mean, Micah Parsons is just everything. He's everything you want. And I sent a video to Stuart a couple days ago of, were they up a bunch? Was that why he was trying to come out of the game? Or was that why they took him out? Because they were blowing them out.
Yeah, they sit him. Don't risk
so
it.
Dallas and Wisco, they're up, they're blowing whoever out, and he's on the sideline begging to go back. He's no, let me get one more drive. This is a guy that he doesn't give a fuck what situation it is. He just wants to be on the field. He wants to tackle quarterbacks. He wants to fucking wreak havoc. And I mean, to be a defender and I mean, Justin Jefferson has been like kind of like the bar as far as like young players, I feel like in the last couple of years. And Micah Parsons has come in and just blown that the fuck up. I mean, I hate that he's a Cowboy, but this just another guy in a long list of Dallas Cowboy defenders, over the years. He's just like the next guy to carry the torch. I feel like there's always kind of been one terrifying guy on a Dallas defense. And Micah Parsons is probably the most terrifying in the last, 20 years.
I like seeing them bring up Aldon Smith. It's like with Micah Parsons, we're gonna get to see what Aldon Smith might have been able to develop into.
God, he was a monster back in his day, dude.
I mean, I loved him in college, and when he was a Niner, lining up right alongside another Mizzou guy with Justin Smith. It was so fun.
Yeah, that's a good list. I mean, yeah, so do you guys think would you guys put Micah Parsons at the top of this?
Because he has had such an impact in like every game he's in, even when he's not at 100% health. If it's not Justin Jefferson, then yeah, definitely Micah Parsons.
I think Micah Parsons is like the football guy's answer, and Justin Jefferson's is like your casual fan answer. Like, if that makes sense. So
yeah. Well, good shit. Yeah, it's a good list. I'm glad we didn't have to tear this one apart like we did the fuck. I mean, Chris Sims didn't write it, so it wasn't just a total fuckhead of a list. But,
right.